right. Shout out to everybody out there. Blue Pill's having some technical difficulties, so I'm waiting on him. I was gonna wait for him to be available, but we just gonna start. And he'll come on. He'll come on real soon. So Blue Pill will be here in a couple of minutes, but I know y'all been waiting and y'all waiting patiently. So we're gonna get the show started with the commercial, and then I didn't even send Blue the link. I'm bugging out. Yeah, let's get to this commercial, and then we're gonna be right back. All right, family? Get this commercial, and we'll be right back.
Are you ready to win? Are you seeking the best in life? Are you seeking to raise your vibration? Are you seeking to no longer drift, but move gently towards your goals? Billy Carson and myself will be presenting sacred information about finances, how to be wealthy, how to be healthy, be wise. Many people have been asking, what is God power? God power is when you are now co-creating your life. You're living life on purpose. You're not waiting for things to happen. You're making things happen. You're letting go of the past, letting go of the things that were holding you back, letting go of the things that were heavy in your life, and raising your vibration and taking everything you have and moving it towards a destination. You are a winner. You were born a winner. It's time to tap into the winning circle. Become the winner's circle. You are the champion. All you need is the blueprint for the God power that's already in you.
Yeah, so like I said, we waiting on Blue Pill. Apologize, technical difficulties. But in the meantime, I'm here. Just wanted to start something. We're ending 2022 off right. I know all of y'all. I know all of y'all been hit hard with this weather. I know y'all been hit real hard with this weather. Oh man, tell me this weather. Yo, I left New York to get away from this type of weather. I'm here in Georgia now. This is just bad as it is in New York. I mean, like it was like 8 degrees the other day in Georgia. My heat wasn't even working. Like the thermostat, the heating ain't even equipped for this type of weather. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but what I do know, yeah, I did say, yeah, Cam is coming. Cambada be on this week. I'm gonna make it happen. Cambada be on this week, and we're gonna give everybody an update about Holy Ghost 3. I like how y'all been y'all really on it, and I appreciate that. I doubted the amount of support that we had. I forgot how much support we get on this channel with the music, and y'all been on me about it. So once again, I apologize. There's a couple of things. One of the things is it's just hard, me being in Atlanta, him being in New York, for us to establish that organic connection. We have my son bother me. We have established. You always want to what's up, man? That organic connection we have musically when we in two different states. So, but he'll be on this week, and we gonna make it happen. All right, family. So y'all can stay tuned for that. But I can't wait for Blue Pill to make the connections tonight. One thing I like about Blue Pill, when he makes his connections, a lot of the decoders, they make connections, and it's all a conspiracy. It's all there's some white guy sitting in a room somewhere who plotted all of this. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times it be cosmic synchronicities with things going on. Sometimes I'm not saying conspiracies don't happen, but a lot of times, they say the greatest conspirator or is God. So a lot of times it be divine, the things that's going on, and we don't give props where props is due. So I just can't wait for Blue to come and give us that cosmic knowledge about the winter solstice. I know one thing Blue was talking about on his Instagram. He was talking about how the whole Tory Lanez thing and Megan Thee Stallion was a ritual, and not from an Illuminati standpoint, even though it may be, who knows, but he was connecting the dots cosmically. So I look forward. I definitely look forward to that. You know what I'm saying? Definitely look forward to that. Let me see what's going on with y'all in the chat though. I see Man, what's going on with y'all in the chat, man? What's happening with y'all in the chat? Let me see what's going on with y'all. Let me see if I got any more now. So yeah, January 7th. Make sure the link is in the description. Make sure y'all there. Dr. B, Billy Carson. It's going down. I mean, it's going to be, it's probably going to be the best. Not probably, it's definitely going to be the best workshop I've ever put together. So I'm thankful for that. Just talking to them brothers behind the scenes. I mean, they got bars upon bars, and it's interactive. Like Dr. B is doing this um subconscious realignment where you all are going to participate in it. So it's going to be participatory, if that's the right word. You know what I'm saying? So the workshop is going to be off the hook. So I definitely yeah, it's gonna be life changing. It's gonna be life changing. And it's the, they could have did the same workshop 5 years ago, and the workshop would have been great, but it wasn't the time. Now's the time for this workshop. So now y'all gonna get what's needed to be got. You know what I'm saying? Winter fasting. Yeah, we need to do a winter fast. Remember them years ago, me and KT used to do them fasts years ago? Yo, our fast was legendary. I see y'all say, what's going on with y'all? A lot of y'all got the tickets. I appreciate the support. A lot of y'all got the tickets. Yeah, a lot of y'all got the tickets. Yeah, I need to do. I think I am going to do a fast in January, by myself probably, but I need to do. I don't know when I'm gonna do one with all of y'all again. Um, Probably sometime next year. It'll be good. You know, yeah, everybody should sign up. But what's interactive workshop? Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. I know a lot of people just did the God Body fast. Shout out to Cosmic Royalty. Yeah, shout out to Al Kibalon, the Dawn. A lot of y'all just did the God Body fast, and I know that brother holds it down. He's big on Instagram. You can check him out on Instagram. He always doing his thing. And posting. The brother's a brilliant writer. So I advise all y'all to support and follow the brother. I don't be on Instagram like that. I'm not a writer like that. I'm not into posting. So I mostly just be on YouTube, but I do have an Instagram, Black Magic. Same thing as the channel name, Black Magic 363. Y'all can follow that if you want. Are you going to do what's up, Yaya? Yaya is a supporter of the channel. She's always in the building, the digital building. Yaya wants to know, are you going to do something for the spring equinox on Stone Mountain? I might. I was thinking that early in the year, I was thinking the next one I was going to do was going to be the spring equinox. So that'll probably go down. I'm not sure yet, but it'll probably go down like that. You know, it'll probably go down like that. You know, somebody said they're doing a fruit and juice. I got to talk to my brother Yaki. I ain't talked to Yaki in a little while. He was busy doing some things. Y'all know he got that Netflix show coming out, food forensics. So the brother is like super busy, and the brother's doing his thing on Netflix with the food forensics. But yeah, the brother, I gotta contact my brother and get that brother on the show ASAP. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, somebody said, yeah, I decided to go hatless today. Yeah, I decided to go hatless today. I see y'all saying that. But what else is up with y'all in the chat while we wait for my brother Blue Pill to get on here? What else is going on as far as the winter? The other thing about the winter, one thing Dr. B was telling me, and he'll touch on this during the workshop, is that we get so many downloads from the cosmos in the summertime because of the sun. But he was talking to me on the phone. I think he briefly mentioned this about how wintertime, we look at it as a time of death, but it's the time we're supposed to be doing a lot of uploading. You got a computer and you do uploads. Give that to your mother. Give that to your mother. And we got uploads and we got downloads. Wintertime, you're supposed to be doing a lot of uploading. You upload to the server we call the Cosmos. That's a server. You upload to the cosmic server. You know what I'm saying? That's where you spend a lot of your time doing. In the summertime, you get all them downloads. But it's he's going to talk about all of this in the workshop. You know what I'm saying? But yes, somebody said, is there tickets available? Yes, tickets are still available. I don't know how long, but tickets are definitely available. And yeah, somebody mentioned Dr. B's parasitic cleanse. Yes, both of them, Dr. B and Yaki, got a parasite cleanse. That's real good. I haven't tried Dr. B's. I tried so much stuff. See, this is what I tell you. This is my favorite product. I take this before the show. Can y'all see it? Master Mushroom Tonic. I showed y'all this last time. If y'all was if y'all regular listeners, and I take this all the time. This like my body. You gotta get what resonates and what your body responds well to. My body responds real well to this, so I take that. I take that a lot. I take that before every show. Gives me a certain vibe for my shows. So I definitely I tap into that for every show. But Yaki's parasite cleanse is serious. You can't I don't even think you can work and take Yaki's parasite cleanse at the same time. I mean, because you gonna be shitting like a mug. You gonna be in that bathroom messing with Yaki and his cleanse. So yeah, his cleanse is serious. So shout out to all the brothers, the health brothers in the community and sisters in the community doing their thing. I talked to this sister named Adama. I think that's the name. A lot of y'all been asking to get for me to get on her show, and I'm gonna have her on shoe. I finally made contact with her, but I'm gonna have her. She deals with health as well, so I'm gonna have her on the show. The top of the year, I'm gonna let the year pan out, and I'm gonna have her on the show the top of the year. So yeah, so shout out to her. Like I said, shout out to everybody with the that's big in the health community. Y'all know that they come up with shit all the time, as far as that. Well, I ain't gonna say that, I ain't gonna put no, but they out there, the help is here, and I'm gonna just tell y'all, get the help while it's available. We don't know how this internet thing is gonna work out, but somehow, some way, we're always gonna get what we need. So that's all we need to know. What else? I'm about to call Blue Pill too. God damn, Blue Pill super late. I think he was having a problem because he has a presentation today. So he was having a problem. Give this to your mother. What is this? Son bother me. I don't. Oh, this ain't for. Okay, here. Yeah, you want to say hi? Here, come say hi since you be. Come say hi again. You used to let my son say hi again. Hi. He's making another appearance. My son making another appearance. You done making an appearance? All right. Yeah, my son making an appearance. All right. Goodbye. Go to mommy. He wants to stay in here with me. But forgot what I was getting ready to say. Yeah, I need to. Oh yeah, Blue Pill has a presentation. So yeah, I think he was having some problems uploading it or something to his computer or something like that. You know, but I'm about to call him in a second. What's going on, y'all, in the chat? Yeah, we in here heavy. We in here heavy. We in here early. The room packed early. I know everybody want to know what's going on uh with the weather. So let me just let me hit a blue pill real quick and ask him while we live. Hit a blue pill, man. But besides that, is there anybody before blue come? Is there anybody else? Like I told you, I talked to Adama. Is there anybody else? Okay. Is there anybody else y'all want to see on the show? Anybody else in particular that y'all like, yo, Rich, you got to get them on the show? They go blue in the back right now. Like, I want to know, like, while Blue Pill, before Blue Pill start, like, let me know, like, why is it not? Yeah, let me know, like, if there's anybody that y'all feel as though should be on the show that's like, I gotta get on here. 19, I had 19 keys on before. Dan Calloway, yeah, he's on top of the list. I touched with him briefly, last year, this year, I mean,
Fuck.
Dr. Bruce
Shit.
Lipton. Yeah, Blue Pill still having technical difficulties. But I talked to Bruce, not Bruce Lipton, what's the gentleman y'all just said? Dan Calloway. He's gonna be on the top of the next year. I'm a touch base with B. I heard about that brother. I heard about Young Elder. Visit Islam was on years ago. I haven't reached out to him in a while. See, y'all giving me good names. People I forgot. A. Rashid always on here. Dr. Umar, I've tried to contact him and to no avail. So I don't know about that. But Tahuti Mayat, I don't know who that is. Yaki's been on here. I'm talking about new people. Dolo the pilot man. I actually emailed Dolo like 2 years ago, and he never responded. But I did email the brother about 2 years ago. I don't even know if he ever seen the email, but he got some good stuff. I haven't seen his videos in a while, but he got some good stuff when I checked him out. Shout out to that brother, Real Macabre. I heard of him. I never watched his videos. The Hood Healer. I think that's a sister, and I heard of her or him. I just heard of that name, Brother Sanchez, I'm not sure. I might have heard of Brother Sanchez. Panic's been on here before. I'm talking about new people. Sister Myron's been on here. I heard of Remedy H. See some of his stuff. He got some good stuff. Miss Blue, I don't know who that is. If you talking about Miss Blue from the Blog Talk days, I think she's is she a speaker or she's like an interviewer, a journalist? I'm not sure. Yeah, said he's been on the channel before. See, Santos, this is who I want. This is one of the main people I want to get on. Santos Bonacci. Want to get him on. That's the main one right there I want to get on. So I talked to him years ago, but there's a big time difference from him and me. So we just got to get it together. Vicky Diller's been on here plenty of times. She'll be on again soon. You know, but yeah, everybody else, like I said, 19 been on here. 7 will be back on. 7 will probably be back on in January. 7 will probably be back on in January. We're gonna be connecting more often. He got some new technology that I just seen on his channel that I gotta ask him about. Like 7, he ill with that technology thing. So shout out to that brother right there. Priestess or Set. I don't know who that is. I might. Sister Dr. Mumby. I heard of that name. So y'all giving me some ideas. Y'all giving me some people to research. Oh, Kafunya, you got the link that Dr. Bruce slipped it? Oh, man, you got to give me that link. Shout out to Kafunya. Elder in the community. Shout out to Kafunya. Always doing her thing.
Shout out to Kafunya.
Indeed. Blue, how we looking?
We here.
Okay.
We in the building, peace, love, and light. Yeah, we gotta roll what we got. So we here. You know what I'm saying? I don't hear you.
Oh, my fault. I hit mute by accident. Like I told them before you came on here, Blue, there's so many things surrounding the winter solstice, whether it's Christmas, whether it's Sirius, whether it's Orion, a lot of things. But the main thing that I'm seeing, even the whole, like you said, the whole Tory Lanez thing took place on the winter solstice, the verdict, I think. But a lot of people, everybody's like, what's up with this weather, Blue? They're like, yo, what's going on with the country? Like, you seen the pictures in the video all over the country, the snow in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Like Atlanta shut down. Like, so I guess we could start out like that, Blue. But talk to me, my brother. What's going on?
Yeah, when we finish praying for Paris, we got to pray for Buffalo. You know what I'm saying? We want to send a shout out to everybody across the country that's dealing with this this weather situation that seems to be unprecedented, right? There's a solar vortex, a polar vortex that seems to be across the entire country, and it's not just relegated to this continent alone, it's global, right? And we're going to get into a scientific explanation. We're going to get into a physics explanation. We're going to get into a metaphysical explanation. So just like the winter solstice is like the navel, right? Everything conjoined. There's so many points that converge and meet at the solstice point. And the solstice point is a mythological point as well that tells us a story that has always been told, right? The oldest religion on the planet is nature. I'm going to repeat that. The oldest religion on the planet is nature. You mute again.
Yeah, you was breaking up. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah, your reception ain't too good.
Oh, man. All right, let me see something.
Somebody said their flight got canceled. Yeah, a lot of flights got canceled. A lot of flights. Yeah, bear with us while Blue gets this together. You know, but Blue said the older religion on the planet is Mother Nature.
Yeah, does it sound any different now?
Yeah, it does.
All right. Yeah, switch microphones. Yes, the oldest religion on the planet is nature, right? Because it was the only thing we had to observe in order to understand ourselves and our outer bounds. So our people will always observe seasonal cycles. And the majority of mythos that come from around the world that deal with our understanding of the cycle of death and rebirth, they all came from understanding winter. And the beginning of winter is inaugurated by the death of the sun. So on December 21st, when the sun reaches that particular position in the sky, right, where it's at its lowest point, it stays there for 3 days. And we know, the similarities, other mythological stories that, that the world now celebrates in this modern day context, Christianity in particular, but is that observation predates Christianity by thousands upon thousands of years. Other religious orders and other religious sects have been built around that observation of the death of the sun, which has always been understood to be the life giver and the life bringer. And when the sun is dead, right, then we're plunged into darkness and we're also plunged into cold. And both of those two things are synonymous with one another, even to the point where the oldest mythological tales of hell always dealt with the frozen aspects and not the fires.
Mm.
Okay. So in this modern day context, as we are looking around and we're looking at the world and we're looking at our own personal situations, and we could turn on the TV and for the very first time we see something unprecedented. We see the entire country under ice or under snow or under bad weather. You know what I'm saying? And some people are celebrating, saying, "Oh, it's a white Christmas." And I've never seen it like they thought that Santa was just blanketing the entire country so he can, what I'm saying, have some room to land his sled. But we're not taking into account other things such as crops. We're not taking into account the fact that we were already, heading into what's considered to be like a famine, right? There was already a strain on the
Mm.
food supply. So when something like this happens and everything is under frost, that affects particular, different regions of the planet or different regions of this country are responsible for different food sources. In particular, the citrus and all of that is coming out of Florida. There's ground provisions and food. There's seeds that go into the ground. All of that stuff is compromised. So while we might have a tendency to celebrate because it reminds us of Christmas and what I'm saying, that particular season, we also have to take into account that this is going to have some consequences, right? Now, there can be something that we can look at and say, wow, maybe this is an effect of the cosmos, right? Because there was something very substantial that took place in the atmosphere. There was a solar storm, a geostorm that took place, and this geostorm cracked the magnetic sphere, which was unprecedented. But it's not the first time that it happened in the last 30 to 60 days, right? This happened first in November, then it just repeated itself earlier last week. And then it's also taking place right now. It happened again on the 25th, actually on Christmas, it hit again. So let me see if I could go to the screen share real quick. Uh, let me know if it gets into screen share mode.
Yeah, I don't see it yet. Wait. Okay.
All right. Stream your share your screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
So y'all caught me during
Can you
I was
stretch
not
that?
able to finish my edit. So you're inside.
Can you enlarge
That's
that
what I'm
image?
saying. You inside of my editing. So
Okay. Okay.
how small is it on the screen?
We'll work with it, Blue.
Is this
It
the
would have been
biggest it
better.
get?
We'll work with it. Yeah, this is the biggest it could get. We'll work with it.
Yeah. All right. So
It's
let's
better.
get into
Yeah.
this. Hey.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
February of 2021, we remember the text and it knocked out the power grid. Does anybody remember that? Right? So everybody was kind of like scrambling and saying, wow, that never happened. There was so much pressure on the Texas power grid, which is an independent power grid, that it fell out and the people was under deep freeze for a few days, and they said never again. And then this pretty much shifted the conversation and the focus to the national power grid. And then people started talking about, especially the prepper community and the conspiracy community, it was about transformers and how possible it was if you was to attack transformers in this country, how you can knock out the national power grid and it would plunge this country into darkness and into cold. Hence the hashtag they kept saying that it's going to be a cold winter. It's going to be a cold winter, right? This is when out of office. So there was all of these theories about people that were responsible, and it was a political scheme to undermine his presidential leadership and everything, right? So we're somewhat seeing the repeat of that right now because there has been an unprecedented amount of attacks on these power grids. Okay. And there has been a peak attack on power grids. In particular, this just happened during this vortex this last one in Washington State. They just knocked out some more power grids. The first substantial one took place last month in Moore County, North Carolina, when they knocked the power grids out. Okay. So what also is happening scientifically or in the cosmos, there's a solar storm that's smashing a hole in the magnetic sphere, right? So we see now it triggered the rare pink auroras. This is how they can tell and verify when solar storms have hit this particular planet and penetrated the magnetic sphere because of the amount of auroras or the color of the auroras or the unprecedented color of these auroras. So these pink auroras signal to them the strength of the particular solar wind or the magnetic arms. Okay. So this one happened, like I said, already happened in November. Okay. This one was unprecedented. This happened in November, on November 3rd. A solar storm caused a temporary crack in Earth's magnetic field. The resulting hole enabled energetic particles to penetrate deep into the planet's atmosphere and set off extremely rare pink auroras. Now, look, we have to make a disclaimer. I don't want to trigger no flat earthers. If they got a way to explain, what's taking place in the dome, and they can make a correlation, what I'm saying, then do that. I'm just reporting the news as it is presented to us. You feel me? And this stuff is identifiable and tangible because these are effects that are happening at the poles. Okay. So the auroras are formed when streams of highly energetic charged particles known as solar winds pass around the magnetic sphere. The planet's magnetic field protects us from cosmic radiation, but the field is naturally weaker at the north and south poles, which enables the solar winds to skim through the atmosphere, usually between 62 and 186 miles above Earth's surface. As polar particles pass through the atmosphere, they superheat gases, which then vibrantly glow in the night sky. All right. So this happened in early November, and we definitely can identify that it just took place again, right? So dangerous solar storm strikes Earth on winter solstice day, right? So this one hit on the solstice specifically. More set to hit today. So we are being bombarded as a planet by solar winds, right? Or solar strikes. A double hole on the sun's surface has sent a dangerous solar storm to Earth, and that too on winter solstice day. More solar storm activity expected today on December 22nd. Just a couple days ago, a shock wave caused by fast-moving solar winds caused a crack in the magnetic field on the Earth, which resulted in unexpected solar storm activity. Now there's relentless attacks as another solar storm has struck our planet in the early hours today, December 22nd. A flora of auroras could be seen in the Arctic region, but these solar storms are much more dangerous than some light show in the sky, right? So these ones is different. They cause GPS disruptions and shortwave radio blackouts, and now the forecasts have revealed that more solar storm activity can be seen later today. Incidentally, the solar storms have struck the Earth on winter solstice, the longest night of the year. Read on the read on to know the consequences of these solar disturbances. Okay. So as you can see, there is a scientific explanation for why the planet, or the northern hemisphere has been plunged into this crazy weather pattern. Okay. Now, again, we're showing you this dualistic, repetitious nature. None of these things are isolated. All of them are repeating themselves. You feel me? All of them are repeating themselves. So even before Buffalo was plunged into, unprecedented cold, it just experienced it as well, right? It experienced it as well before this. A few weeks ago, the same thing happened up there. So deadly lake effect, they call it the lake effect. Blizzard buries Buffalo in nearly 4 feet of snow. Okay. The same powerful storm that brought blizzard conditions and severe cold to a large portion of the central United States generated a major lake effect snow event prior to Christmas. Conditions have turned deadly with at least 27 fatalities reported in western New York, including 20 in the greater Buffalo area, and nearly 4 feet of snow. Right? They still played football though yesterday. Okay. So, again, pray for Buffalo. There was a lot of deaths. A lot of people found frozen in their cars. A lot of people found frozen on the highways. You know what I'm saying? And they still pulling bodies out. And there's more snow on the way to Buffalo, right? Which is near Niagara Falls and some of the greater lakes. Mind you, they are the northernest part, right next to Toronto. We'll get to that. Okay. So this is a drone video showing a wall of snow, right? They call it the ice wall, right? These are all different parts of New York that was hit. It wasn't just Buffalo, it's all upstate, all up north, as we call it. Lackawanna, Oswego. Okay? But it's not only in this country. Again, this is a global event. They're not saying that. They're not telling you the magnitude of the planet, not just continental North America. All right? Heavy snow in Japan leaves 17 dead and dozens injured. Heavy snow in large swaths of Japan has killed 17 and injured, and 90 people have hundreds of homes without power, disaster management officials said Monday. Okay? So Monday is today, December 26th. This just happened. I had no idea rain snows in Japan. You feel me? Powerful winter fronts have dumped heavy snow in northern regions, again, the north again, since last week, stranding hundreds of vehicles on highways, delaying delivery services, and causing 11 deaths by Saturday. More snowfall over the Christmas weekend brought the number of deaths to 17 and injured to 93 by Monday morning, according to the Fire and Disaster Management Agency. You feel me? The shit going down. Okay. Let's get to the sweet slide. Right? Now, here goes the science, right? Here goes the physics. So what people are saying, well, this is not a natural occurrence. I just gave you the possible science, the solar science. Now we look at the man-made science, right? Does man have a role or a hand in geoengineering? Absolutely. Is it possible to do? Absolutely. Right? And the industry is unregulated like crypto. So you from your home can make a bioengineering device and alter weather right now. A startup says it begun releasing particles into the atmosphere in an effort to tweak the climate. This is from December 24th. Okay. Make Sunsets is already attempting to earn revenue for geoengineering, likely to provoke widespread criticism. All right. Starlab has launched weather balloons that may have released reflective sulfur particles in the stratosphere, potentially crossing a controversial barrier in the field of solar geoengineering. Now, this is what Bill Gates said he wanted to do. This is what China says it wants to do. And this is the conversation that people have continuously have about the chemtrails. Now, there's unprecedented amount of footage of chemtrailing around the country last week. I was not able to obtain a video in time, but it exists, right? And I'll put it together in the larger form video that I do when this shit finishes saving, if you can see the upper right. Anyway. Startup claims it has launched weather balloons, right? Yeah, we got it. Geoengineering refers to deliberate efforts to manipulate the climate by reflecting more sunlight back into space, mimicking a natural process that occurs in the aftermath of large volcanic eruptions. In theory, spraying sulfur and similar particles in sufficient quantities could potentially global warming. Now, we also have to take into account the large, unprecedented volcanic eruptions that just took place, right? In particular, while the World Cup was going on, for my metaphysicians, if you want to put symbolism into it, Pele is the spirit of the volcanoes. Pele is currently dying in a hospital from cancer while they were playing the World Cup. These volcanoes were erupting in Hawaii. Okay. So there's a lot of things that are going into these situations. It could be anything, and it could be a combination of all of them at the same time, right? Two things can be wrong and right at the same time in this particular paradigm. We're not living in either or and in quantum. It could be both. So let's get to this next one. Okay. It is not technically difficult to release such compounds into the stratosphere, but scientists have mostly, though not entirely, refrained from carrying out even small-scale outdoor experiments. They're lying, and it is not clear that any have yet injected materials into that specific layer of the atmosphere in the context of geoengineering related research. That's a lie. That's in part because it's highly controversial. Little is known about the real world effects of deliberate interventions at large scales. That's a lie. But they have dangerous effects. The impact can also be worse in some regions than others, which could provoke geopolitical conflicts. Hence the fact that the entire entire global politics is centered around climate change, allegedly, right? Saying they want to prevent it, knowing, anyway, let me not get into that. Some researchers have long studied the technology, are deeply troubled that the company Sunsets appears to move forward with launches from a site in Mexico without any public engagement or scientific scrutiny. It's already attempting to sell cooling credits for future balloon flights that could carry larger payrolls. So let me tell you what the hustle is. On a geopolitical global scale, the new hustle is carbon credits. Okay. And that's a whole nother conversation, but that's the new hustle. Luke Eisman, the co-founder and CEO of Make Sunsets, acknowledges that the effort is part entrepreneurial and part provocation, an act of geoengineering activism. He hopes that by moving ahead in the controversial space, the startup will help drive the public debate and push forward a scientific field that has faced great difficulty carrying out small-scale field experiments amid criticism. We joke / not joke that this is partly a company and partly a cult, he says. Right? Make it look like the bond willing to be helpful to certain groups. So the person wants to be the bad guy. Right? Eisman, previously a director of hardware at Y Combinator, which is an incubator, says he expects to be pillarized by geoengineering critics and researchers in the field for taking such a step. Right? And he wants to be the bad guy. He wants to be the Bond, the bad guy in the Bond movie. They're going south of the border where there are strictly no regulations or oversight, right? But again, it's unregulated even in this country, just like crypto is. But he's going even further and taking it out of the eyesight and the scrutiny of anybody who might want to regulate them. And this is what they're doing on their own, taking it upon themselves to alter climates, right? To prove a point. So let's do this next slide. Every slide. Y'all all right?
We good in here, Blue. We
Is
loving
the mic
it. We
still
good.
cool?
Yeah, you
All
good.
right.
You good to go, Blue.
All right. Whew. The sun's surface are its in chromosphere in the huge corona, right? We're going right back to corona and corona rising. I don't, can I say that? Do they? Right? Corona is the crown. All right. Here goes all of the religious connotations that go along with the sun that applies to about soon. This is where we see features such as solar prominences, flares, and coronal mass ejections. The latter two are giant explosions of energy particles that can reach Earth. So these coronal mass ejections from the solar maximum, what we've been speaking about 2028, these things that they're saying that are affecting the planet now, technically the sun's supposed to be dead at its lowest point. But you will notice and see that the sun is going to have some of the most activity during these periods and times right now when we're coldest and we seem to be furthest from the sun, but the sun is closest to the planet. The sun doesn't have moons, but 8 planets orbit it, at least 5 dwarf planets. All right, this is just information about the sun. Above the sun's surface, we did that. Okay, we did that. Right now, what makes rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes? Let's get it.
I think it's worth noting that the day that the sun is technically dead at its lowest, we see this Leo, whose name is Daystar, right? Case is going to trial, or it's going to the jury for their, you know what I'm saying? He's in court for shooting Megan, who's an Aquarius. You dig what I'm saying? This is very cosmological. Sagittarius deals with justice. That's when the case actually started. And we're also watching another Leo, right? Young Thug go through his process and his procedure during the same times. You know what I'm saying? It all popped off for Sagittarius going into Capricorn. This is very interesting. I feel that the Capricorn, when we see the sun descending in its grave, right? What are we going to see dealing with these people who personify the Leo energy, the sun energy, the personification of the sun, the people that were popping in 2020 specifically, our guy, Daystar, who was representing quarantine radio or whatever he was doing, you know, he was carrying the energy of 2020, which was all dealing with the corona rising solar energy. So now that we get to this particular point, you know what I'm saying, it would be very interesting to see how they intend to ritualize a person who himself personifies sun energy. His name is Daystar. His father's name is Sunstar.
You don't find that suspicious?
Huh?
You don't find that suspicious?
Huh?
You don't find that suspicious?
Wicked system of Rock Nation, including you, Jay-Z.
Yes.
You who say you rose from the gutter, but you have traded and bartered the souls of young men, and you're still doing it. The only independent witness in this courtroom is a man whose name's Sean Kelly. He came to court, and our attorneys, he would not even shake their hand after he went upstairs with Kathy Tarr and Alex Bott.
They met on Saturday before. They met on
They met
Saturday.
with our witness.
Night.
And the man
He
sat
got
in the hallway while he sat with Jody Little, prosecutor's investigator, who acts so dumb, an intelligent woman, did not want. Listen, I've seen so much evidence bearing this.
Right. And here goes again the slide. This is dealing with the Texas blackout of 2021. You guys don't remember. This was in February 10th to 27th. You feel me? So let's get into the symbolism. Let's get into the symbolic symbolism. As I said, what makes earth, rain, hail, snow, and all that good stuff. Because we love saying the black man is God, but we attribute nothing godlike to the black man. Okay? So we're going to get into the symbolism of what he's speaking of, even throwing Jay-Z in the mix, who I already said during the Ye situation, I said, all right, wait, Jay gonna pop out and the end of Sagittarius coming into Capricorn, because that's when the killing of the king, killing of the sun ritual takes place. And Sagittarius, right? The archer is responsible, the arrow of the archer is responsible for the killing of the sun. Cosmologically, this is what takes place in the cosmos. So here you have, you know, one of the most famous Sagittariuses in the game being accused of taking down the sun by father. You can't make this shit up. All right. Shout out to my brother Keebalon 44. You know, the majority of this narrative we laid out in the convos with Cosmos in 2020. Okay. So that's my hey. That will be the end of the prepared presentation, video segment wise. Okay, we could go back to the screen. Let's deal with the symbolism. Okay.
Indeed. Indeed.
So let's deal with the symbolism of what we're speaking of. Once again, Tory Lanez is a Sagittarius. I mean, Tory Lanez is a Leo, my bad, right? The Leo is the symbol of the sun, okay? The Leo is the symbol of the sun. Again, you have to remove your puritanical righteousness out of this conversation. You like, oh, Tory was ratchet. Look, this ain't got nothing to do with what you believe and how you feel about a person, right? The cosmic essence of a person. We don't know who these people represent, but in the mythos, this is who he represents. He's a Leo who represents the sun, who had a case with an Aquarian, which is the opposite of Leo, who got shot in the foot. That represents Pisces. That's the old age, right? But Aquarian represents this new age that's heralding or was coming into, you know. Any astrological, cosmological person will explain to you what that Aquarian energy represents. You feel me? In terms of the woman and the prototype of what type of woman that represents, right? Meg fits all of the criteria, even with her being considered a stallion and that being considered an androgynous aspect. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and that's the you know, that is that energy. That's her, that's who rolls with her, right? That's her group, and that's how she shows up as a man, woman. That's Aquarian. We get it. So her getting shot in the foot again symbolizes Pisces. Him being a Leo, right? Represents the sun. On the day or the period of time that the sun is dead, the sun goes into its grave. We know that jail in this particular parlance, we call that purgatory. That's like living death. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They say that you like locked away, you in the grave. That's the closest thing to death that you can possibly be, right? This is when the sun loses his lion's mane, The lion's mane is the hair of the sun, but it represents the sun rays, right? The thumbnail or the picture that went around with Tory automatically was him with his hairpiece, right? His hair was
Mm,
missing. And
mm.
then everybody's commenting on the daddy hair, like, damn, how can daddy have a full part in his head with a bald head? So they're focusing in on these aspects that reverberate and resonate with the fact that this man's name is Daystar, his father's name is Sunstar. He comes from North or
Mm,
Toronto, which is
mm,
synonymous with the cold or the vortex. Everywhere
mm,
up north is plunged into this particular aspect of the polar vortex. You
mm.
feel me? So when you lock the sun away, when you put the sun in the cave, you feel
They
me?
the
Then what's gonna warm up the, you know what I'm saying? Like, ain't no sun rays.
son got locked up. Yo, you crazy with this shit, Blue.
Now, again, we would say, oh, that's just a regular nigga from Toronto. Then you just a regular nigga, whoever you at listening to, what we listening to. Because stars are stars for a reason, right? Everybody was
Mm.
caught up in that case so much so they forgot about Santa. Did you see the memes? They like, damn, Christmas ain't Christmasing. Because you was focused on Tory Lanez and Young Thug last week. Two Leos, both of
Mm.
which are dealing with cases, right? Which is all Sagittarius energy, dealing with justice and what have you. But then we get into Capricorn season immediately, and then we see this particular thing play out. We see the sacrifice, if you will, which the goat is synonymous with, right? And again, he's saying that Jay-Z has something to do with it, right? But again, that's playing at the mythos because that is what Sagittarius does with the arrow of the archer. The Sagittarius and the Scorpio are both intertwined in the cosmic mythos of the killing of the sun or the killing of the king.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I just explained it three different ways that people can look at it, flip it how they choose, right? And then we go directly into the 25th of Christmas, and now we're dealing with this semi of the birth of the king or the rebirth of the king or the Christos mythos. And that's where it gets real heavy at. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So
Blue,
I read something. I prepared. I did my sermon yesterday. Yeah, I'm listening.
Blue, I don't know if you mentioned it, but I know several people want to know, is there any connection with CERN in the weather? Do you think that has anything to do with the weather?
I was not able to detect, you know what I'm saying, anything dealing with CERN specifically, but CERN can also be used for geoengineering. There's a lot of video and evidence to speak to Hurricane Ian, the one that hit in Florida, the most unprecedented hurricane that they saw. And
Right.
they got all the receipts that that was geoengineered, and some people
Mm,
attribute that to CERN. You feel me? But I don't
mm,
have no I don't have no personal evidence to that, so I can't speak on what I don't know. But
mm,
I want to read. I had wrote like a opening yesterday when I did my sermon. It was called the Mythos of the Christos. This was the unprecedented presentation that we did yesterday, the 34th one. And again, I had to, shout out to our master teacher, Bobby Hemmett, who prepared
mm,
us for these times. And he spared us as the symbolism or the correlation that when we're children, you do as children do, but when you're grown, you're supposed to do, put the child things away. So he prepared us and he took the stigma of what's considered evil away by explaining to us the primordial aspects of what really took place on this planet as it was told through the mythos, as it was told through the historical records. You feel me? And this planet was not always peace, love, and light.
mm,
This planet started in darkness. If you take the sun, the planet is codependent on the sun. But if you block the sun out, the planet is dark. Is it not? It takes 8 minutes for the sunlight to get here. It's artificial. We live artificial construct during the daytime thinking that that's what reality is. No, look outside right now. That's reality. Feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And then the sun, the conjoining of the sun, the coagulation of the sun with this planet stimulates it and gives it life and brings it back to life. That's the beauty of this connection. But we're not paying no attention to the sun. We're not giving it its credence and its reverence. I didn't say worship it. I said understand the role of it. Because when it's missing, right, everybody's shivering and saying, damn, I wish the sun would come out, right? But you put milk out for Santa. You ain't light a candle for the sun. You feel me? But you put milk out for Santa. You ain't even put out peppermint snaps for Jesus, but you put the milk out for Santa. Anyway, so I want to read this real quick, just so we can get at this concept. Because when people hear the connections and correlations to what I'm speaking about, solar energy, they automatically it's like, oh, he's not like a Jesus. He don't walk on water. He's not pious, and they start getting puritanical. So I said, how do we reconcile what we know with what we can believe? Science tells us to employ the scientific method in order to take something from the phase of hypothesis to actual fact. For as long as I can remember, I was taught about the theory of evolution that would suggest that as human beings, we are constantly evolving. A state of evolution suggests we went from simple systems, single cell amoebas, to complex systems, the human body. So the same should apply to consciousness. One must ask then why God would seed the planet with the highest level of consciousness prior to him sending his children and his word into the world that merely grafted their religion, customs, and traditions from people who predated them. They would be called pagan, savage, and uncivilized, but you couldn't say that they weren't an advanced species with a thorough knowledge of this world and the cosmos. They did more with less. Arts and sciences has always been a clear indicator of intellect and genius, and the earth was littered with high advanced civilizations before the advent of the religion of sheep herders and farmers. Put some respect on the primordial people who laid the foundation for what we today call the three-headed Abrahamic religions. In Kemet, Typhonian, Draconian, predated pre-dynastic Kemet, which itself predates my religion by thousands of years. The Gnostic scripts, speak of Yaldabaoth, who created the world. Okay, and today that would be considered an evil demon like the devil. All right. In 1945 is when they found these Gnostic scripts, and all of them contradicts the four gospels. All of them speak of the true primordial beginnings of this planet, and it was not peace, love, and light. You feel me? So we have to show respect and understand what role darkness, what role winter plays. You can't have one without the other. You have to balance yourself, especially going into the 7 years. Stop playing these games with your spirituality.
Facts.
Right? Christmas is a clear indicator of the journey of the soul through darkness to light. It's an alchemical metaphysical process of going from lead to gold. Lead is Saturn. Gold is Leo. You have to traverse the same journey that the sun is taking as it arises out of watery grave. Stop being Puritans and fighting with your hands tied behind your back. You have to embrace the aspects of your dark and your shadow self to understand who you truly are, right? Stop being so judgmental. And that's it.
Blue, when it comes to the weather, what level I was talking to Dr. B the other day, and several people talk about the role our emotions play on manipulating the weather. In terms of a collective consciousness, what would have to be going? Let's say our emotions do affect the weather. What collective emotional state do you think the masses would have to be in order to see this type of cold temperature that we're seeing right now?
Well, excellent question. So we saw the most frosty relationships between men and women on Friday night, dealing with the verdict, right? there's a clear indication separation of the particular masses and the sexes. Let's get into scripture for you real quick, because I could qualify what I'm saying. By the way that we interpret scripture, right? We go to the day. So the day, or let's go to 1225, right? 1225 was Christmas. That's what we was all waiting for. If we go to Matthew 12:25, it says every kingdom divided against itself will be ruined, and every city or household divided against itself will not stand. What do we see on social media all weekend? A house divided against itself, a nation divided against itself that will not stand. So those relationships where women are saying, I don't fuck with men, and men saying, I don't fuck with women, and they got a whole laundry list, like, you know, they like write a list if you naughty or nice. The list is supposed to go to Santa was the list that they was putting in saying why they don't fuck with one another. Right? So if this is cuddle season and we need the warmth of one another's body, especially during inclement weathers like this, the only thing that'll keep you warm is somebody else. I'm not making fun of nobody, yo. Right? Loved ones included. I was getting these phone calls through the weekend, and people was really, really, really upset with the fact that they was alone. It was a depressing situation. Bro, people were borderline suicidal because there was never a time like this past weekend where they needed somebody, especially the women, right? Who maybe not know how to do things around the house. You know, the heater go out and shit like that. Yeah, a lot of people were you know what I'm saying? They were looking back on some of the decisions that they made, and they like, damn, that was a bad decision. I really needed somebody in my life right about now. This independent thing is not shaping up what it's meant to be because, you know, it was cold. It was cold. You feel me? And if you in a house and your heat go out and you don't know how to replace certain things and you sitting around candles or space heaters, that wasn't cutting it this weekend. You know what I'm saying? People really understood the utility of somebody else in their life to be there for support. So yeah, it's very chilly wake up. It was a very chilly reminder that we are made to cohabitate with one another. We're not made to be isolated. We're not made to be just alone. You feel me? With all of our trinkets and our things, feeling all pompous about our accomplishments. You need people. So I think it's a clear, direct indicator of where the relationship of the most magnetic people on the planet, melanated people, women in particular, because they are the ones who reach the magnetic sphere that we're talking about, that the solar winds come from the sun. Remember, their magnetic sphere, their aura, their heart has the richest amount of blood because they renew their blood every 28 days. Right? So the iron is strongest in women's blood. So their magnetic, their reaches the cosmos before us, hence the fact that they're intuitive. They get the downloads before we do. You need them for information. You all logical, thinking that you're going to read a book. They already got it from the dream. I'm telling you from experience, right? My girl's always telling me 2 or 3 days ahead what's going to happen, bro. Always. Right?
Blue pill.
They get the downloads. So imagine if they're angry. Imagine if they're making these mental proclamations. You know, hey man, fuck this, honey. That's all I heard this whole weekend. And leading up to that, the Karuchi, I mean what's the situation? Carisha. There was so many incidents leading up to this, right? That put the relationships of men and women on the forefront, melanated men and women in particular, and everybody started throwing in their 2 cents. You feel me? So if the women go frosty on the men, yeah, why would the sun come out? And all of it, again, we are biologically connected to the sun through our solar plexus by way of what's called muons and neutrinos. The sun ain't as far away as you think it is. It's right inside of you on a biological cellular level. Go research muons, go research neutrinos. It's inside of you. You have a direct connection to it, especially melanated, iron-rich people. They call it the magnetic sphere, right? Isn't that iron? It don't magnets and irons go hand in hand together? So if we say that we gods, if we who would be godding? Right? Let's put these cards on the table. And again, let's not waste the opportunity to see ourselves in these situations and stop thinking so small of ourselves. That's what I'm saying.
It's a hell of a way to look at it. If the black man and woman don't fix their relationships, we'll fuck up the weather on the planet. Like that's a hell of a, whoo, man, that's something. Blue, let me ask you this, Blue. What role, I mean not role, what ancient deity in ancient Kemet, you know, these deities representing different aspects of nature, what deity represented the solar flares?
Oh, that's a good one. You caught me with a humdinger. You know, I mean, I would have to say it's an aspect of Ra, but I don't know specifically which one. Feel me? Hopefully there's somebody in the chat, one of my deep people, you know what I'm saying, is tuning in that can help with that. Somebody said Sekhmet.
Indeed. Let's if anybody let's get to some Q&A from the people. I mean, I'm like this is like this is what we need to hear, y'all. This is like good shit. And it lets us know the responsibility of being a god and a goddess. It's huge responsibilities, huge responsibilities. I think Sister Myra said, you know, when we mess up, the whole universe feels it. I mean, whew, man, huge responsibilities. Let's see if y'all got some what you said, Blue?
Yeah, he said it's the god men. Al-Kibalon came through. He said it's the god men.
Okay,
you know,
men.
that is the blue black melanated god with the phallus. Yeah, that's the
See if I
god.
could.
The god men. That's
Okay, Al-Kibalon, we about to. Al-Kibalon said it's the god men. Let's look at the god men. Al-Kibalon, they say that's the god of reproduction and fertility. Let me just put this on the screen real quick for y'all. Because we doing some research right now in real time. We figuring this shit out in real time, family. That's what this is about. That's what Black Magic 363 is about. So right here, they saying this is the god men. Like Blue said with the phallus, and the god men is the god of reproduction and fertility. Okay. All right. Let's see what they say in Britannica. Men in ancient religion, a god of fertility and harvest, embodiment of the masculine principle. He was also worshipped as the Lord of the Eastern Desert. His cult originated in pre-dynastic times. Men was represented with phallus erect, a flail in his raised right hand. His cult was strongest in Coptos. With okay, blah blah blah. All right, we got to look into that. But yeah, we doing this research in real time. This is some serious shit. Somebody said, Blue. Somebody said, solar flares are cosmic orgasms. What you think about that statement, Blue? Cosmic orgasms.
Hey. yeah.
And Al-Kibalon agrees. Al-Kibalon said plasma discharge, sperm, like men do. we doing this shit, y'all. Okay. Nigga said plasma discharge.
Yeah, that's exactly, you know, what the definition of the solar flares, you know what I'm saying, is plasma discharge. If you look at the visuals of it, it looks like an eruption, an ejaculate, you know, solar ejection. You know what I'm saying? So, and again, and the woman picks it up first on the solar winds. You know what I'm saying? She picks it up first and she brings it back. And she's borning something. What? She's borning information. She's borning the newest information. She's giving birth to what's new. And light is information. So that's the only thing that's new under the sun. Feel me? And she has the faculties to pick up and receive that and then translate it to us so we can do things with it. It's a beautiful dynamic, and we should not be willing to throw it away because we got frosty relationships. People asking, well, when will it end? It's going to be a cold winter. It's going to be a cold winter. Feel me?
Yeah.
So
Blue, let me
we have to
yeah.
do everything possible to make sure that what happened on the 23rd of December is not templating 2023, because it also happened on the new moon and it happened on a Friday. You feel me? So, is this how we're seeding our reality to project into 2023, which we know is going to be a 7-year year to gods, right? But the gods got to make way for the goddesses and understand how that works. We need one another. You know what I'm saying? It's not one
Facts.
over the other. We have to be able to be eye level to get high level. You know what I'm saying? And this is a wonderful way to start with these conversations, because
Definitely.
everywhere else that I look, they're taking sides and they're throwing darts. And in particular, black media, they have become like a forum to poke fun and laugh at this man's situation, and he's facing 22 years incarceration and deportation, and it's really not a laughing matter. You know what I'm saying? Just like somebody got hurt with a gunshot, somebody got hurt, you know what I'm saying, with a miscarriage of justice. So, you know, it's really something that we should not allow to further pull us apart. But we need to take the opportunity to speak. What's the undercurrent? What's behind this? Why are so many women vicariously living through this pain and vocalizing and expressing themselves because they feel that they haven't been heard. They feel that they have been trampled upon. You know what I'm saying? This is some real deep hurt that's coming to the surface. And the weather shows.
Mm. Yo, y'all understand how that's like an amazing concept to grasp. The weather shows the pain that's going on between the black man and the black woman. Like that's wow. Like I said, that's some powerful shit. Blue, let me ask you this, my brother. Since we was talking about the god men and the cosmic discharge or the plasma discharge, as Alkebalon calls it, and you're saying that this is affecting the weather because the discharge, I mean the solar flares is put a hole in the magnetosphere in the earth. If we're observing this from as above so below, you talked earlier about the solar plexus. In terms of sex, we hear about when a brother busts a nut, they say the nut comes from his mind, the pineal gland, I think, and it works its way down the body. My question to you is, what role, if the sun is inside us in the solar plexus, what role does the solar plexus play in sperm and during sex?
Well, let's take a look at, and it's funny, earlier this last quote unquote week, I hate that word, but I put a post up by Montauk Chia, who is the author of the book dealing with the microcosmic orbit, and he's responsible for this trend of semen retention. So when they teach the microcosmic orbit, right, which is the cheat code to enlightenment, rather than sitting on the top of a mountain for 10,000 years like a monk, if you master the microcosm, you can get there in real time, right? In a walking lifetime. So when he says that you take the, that what's considered the colostrum fluid, and the correlations to what just took place with Santa Claus is also, amazing, because so much information, hit the internet this weekend dealing with the symbolism of Santa. And a lot of people got educated, and they like, wow, the colostrum fluid, it comes from the brain and it goes down to 33 vertebrae. Yeah, then you rotate it, you know what I'm saying, through the coccyx all the way back up. But that region where the navel is at, that's where you charge it. That's where it gets that solar light. You know what I'm saying? That's where it gets that soul. You feel me?
Mhm.
So yeah, you're creating that golden nectar. You know what I'm saying? By running it through that solar current. And it's gonna
Indeed.
pick up on it. You know, if you have a weak will during this time and you inseminate someone, it's gonna reflect in your seed, right? So the whole aspect, physiologically, how we coincide with this journey of the sun, right? And shout out to KT because he speaks about this as well. That we are at our lowest vitamin D level right now because the winter is here and we don't have access to the uh you know the sun giving off that vitamin D, right? This is at its lowest period and point in time. So they say that depression kicks in during this time the strongest, right? Because people are not vitalized. Their willpower is the lowest because their solar plexus is the weakest. Just like the sun experienced his death in the grave, you too will go through a death in what's called, they said Jesus died for 3 days. Tory got hit with three charges and right, guilty for three charges. That's the son dying for 3 days. But
Mm.
you're going through a process of 3 months of death. It's called Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Cap, right? We're going through the soul's journey through darkness. Is Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, the 3 months of winter that we will be experiencing during this particular time, right? And they say that we normally hibernate and our willpower is the longest, is the lowest, and we're not able to extract inspiration. I'm the most creative during this period of time, so that doesn't apply to me, right? I take my gold water and I'm eating my medicinal mushrooms. So I'm always supplying this body with the vitamin D that it needs to stay, invigorated and then shout out to Keebalon. He got the people sun gazing, you know what I'm saying, and doing the fast and aligning themselves to receive all of the benefits that the sun has to offer as it sends back to its glorious solar station in Leo around August 21st to the 23rd. So these are the things, once again, that we can do to offset the depression that sets in. And depression is at an all-time high in this country. Stress, anxiety, and depression, you feel me? Because people were in the house during winter and they wasn't getting no sun whatsoever. And they weren't exercising and their will was being diminished by all of the fear campaigns. When you release cortisol and you're in fear, you're super diminishing your solar plexus.
So Blue, let me ask you. So you're saying we talked earlier about this storm that just happened or this weather that's occurring. We're not getting
Yes,
sun. People are getting depressed, and women were calling you, wishing they had somebody. When you're laying next to somebody, you get heat.
yes,
So if I'm in the bed tonight, I'm gonna
yes.
be in the bed with my lady, and am I absorbing her sun, her solar plexus? Is since we're talking about solar plexus, is that what I'm getting from her solar plexus? And that's the equivalent to, that's what makes up in the wintertime for not getting no sun outside. Is that what you're saying?
I'm willing to put a scientific research in place and foot the
Mhm.
bill to figure out in winter how these melanated women be so goddamn warm in their body. I have no idea.
Bro,
Bro,
they be warm like a motherfucker. Yo, they have their
bro,
stomach out, their back out, their ass. I be
bro,
like, yo, I can't have one layer of skin out. I'm like
bro,
this. I used to work outside, bro. That's the $1 million question, Blue. Blue just asked the $1 million
bro.
question. I'm sorry, yo, bro,
I'm willing to put the bread
shit,
up and we could jumpstart this research. If my baby will be honest, she would say, I'd be asked, I'm like,
bro,
how you so warm?
bro. They be hot.
They are yeah, they're an amazing being, the things that they're able to achieve in the conditions that I'm like, yo, this is a no-go for me. You know what I'm saying? She has that warmth at all
Yo,
times. And
Blue, real
it
quick.
does, now that you meant it, be in the plexus.
Blue, I don't want to. You can hear
Yeah,
me,
I'm
Blue?
listening.
Yo, no exaggeration. That's the
Yes.
million. I got hyped. That's the $1 million question, bro. I swear. Yo, bro, sometimes I could be in the bed, right? My lady come in. She put a hand on me to rub me. I'm like, God damn, your hand feel like a warm towel or something. Like that shit is insane how warm the black woman is. Like it'll feel like, you know how you go to massage and they put the warm towel on you? She'll put a hand on me, rub my back. I'm like, oh shit, you warm, you hot. Bro, oh man, you got me hype, y'all. Somebody got to answer that, Blue. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro. The black woman is hot.
Yeah, you know, again, if we create these inquiries and ask these questions, you know, not out of a you know what I'm saying, not out of a sleazy space or what have you, I
Sleazy
think that
space.
will help warm and foster relationships with men and women. They like, oh, you know, y'all interested in something other than the box? Like,
Mm,
yeah, you are an amazing being. Like, you are worthy of research. You know what I'm saying? You're
definitely.
worthy of us really figuring, because we don't even know who we got in our presence.
That's facts.
You know, the dreams to the warmth to the intuition. It's just like, yo, they they on a different level. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, my lady was showing me pictures. She was showing me a video of childbirth. I was like, y'all legend. God damn.
Imagine.
I don't want
Yeah,
no smoke, man. They something else, bro.
bro. Wait till you experience
But
that, bro.
yeah,
That's something,
they
something
are
else, man.
they are whew, they're furnaces, man.
Yeah.
And that bioactivity in that region of their body where the womb is at, it generates heat like a furnace at all times. Hence the fact that when they go through menopause, you know what I'm saying, and some they say that the women say that they get cold and they get heat flashes, cold and heat flashes.
Mm,
So
mm,
even in their
mm.
body, they're able to notice the level of discomfort, the signaling that something has now reset itself, speak specifically to the fact that they get cold and heat flashes.
Mm, mm. Let's get to another question in the chat, family. Give me a question. I mean, if y'all got to respect this conversation tonight. Like this is one of them ones where this is the perfect way to end the year. Actually, perfect way to end the year with a conversation like this. We took it from a cosmic level to a relationship level. I mean, just all level. I mean, this is powerful. I know the conversation is good when I'm hype. I'm more hype ending it than I was beginning it because I'm supposed to be more tired because I've been talking for an hour and 23 minutes now. So I'm technically supposed to be tired, but that's not how it works. That's
Man,
what the brain tells you. But my heart is saying
you trying to
something
get off
else.
you trying to get off this
Woo!
joint and go. You
Huh?
trying to get off this joint and go cuddle, man. Just keep it
Go.
real. I say you trying to get off this joint and go cuddle.
Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. We ain't talking about that, yo. Somebody come on, yo. Give me some good questions. All right. All right, Blue. They want to know what let me see. What is the proper way to sun gaze, Blue? Just touch on that real quick. This look like a young brother right here. What's the proper way to sun gaze?
Yeah. Uh, Peace to the young brother. You start with one eye first. In particular, you might want to start covering the left eye. Um, and you have to catch the sun when it first comes up, right? That's when it's quote unquote least harmful, but it's going to give the best charge. And start by observing it out of one eye first and start slow. Start for a minute. Look through one eye for a minute and then switch to the other eye for a minute. Switch back, do that 2 or 3 times, and then attempt to do it with both eyes slowly, right? Open up both eyes slowly and then absorb. You know, the sunlight is it's gonna give you what they call like sun flecks initially in your eye. You might see like sun specks and what have you,
Mm-hmm,
but
mm-hmm.
that's not gonna make you lose your sight. You're not burning your your corona or your cornea or what have you. You just have to adjust to it. You feel me? It's a different spectrum of light. That sun when it comes up in the morning, that infrared, that red light.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to adjust to it because you're not exposed to it any other time of the day. So it's the light that you don't comprehend it yet. You feel
Mm-hmm.
me? But the more that you become familiar with it, then that becomes your information, that becomes your download, that becomes your lifeline to that solar force, young brother. And then drink some water afterwards.
Got a good one here, Blue. Good question. How can we honor the sun during the winter? How can we honor it, Blue, during the winter?
Again, if you can find it within yourself to bear the temperatures, to get out there at sunrise and still sun gaze, you know what I'm saying? That's always going to be a wonderful way to you even proclaiming that you are, because it's easy to do it in the summer, it's easy to do it in the spring, but are you willing to sacrifice your comforts to go out and do it in the winter? You know what I'm saying? To honor it. So I would say, yeah, still attempt to get your sun gazing in during the winter. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But again, if you're not getting sufficient amount of sunlight, you want to supplement vitamin D, you can eat um food ready mushrooms. I'm not saying psychedelic mushrooms. I'm saying like oyster mushrooms, you know,
Portobello.
the yeah, the stuff that they sell in the stores that you eat in food, them type of mushrooms, right?
I,
They're an excellent source of vitamin D,
I,
cordyceps, lion's mane. Yeah.
somebody said, I didn't hear this. Somebody said, do you think the North Pole moving to Siberia is influencing the weather also?
Yeah, definitely. This is also dealing with the predicted solar shift and the solar flip. And again, we stand on our mythology to say that as we see Kanye West going through his descent and his destruction, he represents that. He represents the poles. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
He represents what we consider that pole star, and that thing is shifting and it has to disintegrate. His star has to go out. He has to phase out, if you will. And the next soul pole star that's coming in is King Cepheus, the Kushite king, and that takes place, I believe, in 2050, if I'm correct.
mm,
So yeah, but yeah,
mm.
there's a shift, there's a pole shift taking place. Hmm.
Let's get to the next question. Where's that one I seen? Somebody asked Blue. I don't see it now. What's a good mantra to say tonight, Blue? Any recommended mantras you would tell the family to say tonight, Blue? Especially after this show and the weather.
um, I allow the sun to supercharge my solar plexus. I allow the sun to supercharge my solar plexus. I allow the sun to supercharge my solar plexus. Right? Get into your I allows. You know what I'm saying? Open up that space that the sun can find a place, in your temple, in your home.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Call forward the sun to yeah, to settle in your temple. You know what I'm saying? To find that place in your home. Charge yourself up, charge your vessel up. Become one with the sun. You're gonna need it.
Mm-hmm. They want to know,
I am
Blue,
the sun,
how
I am the one. I am the sun.
right. Blue, they want to know, how does the age of Aquarius affect
Mm.
love relationships between men and women?
You're seeing it right now. Again, Megan is an Aquarius, right? And her polar opposite is the Leo, okay, of which is Tory Lanez. So Tory Tory Lanez is the prototype for what women today will call toxic masculinity, right? Whereas she's the prototype as like, she's somewhat fluid in her relationship. She's fluid in the company that she keeps. She keeps the LGBT around her. You know what I'm saying? So in this age of
Men will call her
Aquarius,
the
how is
modern
a
woman.
man going to yeah, how is a man going to connect with his modern woman when he has an intercessor in between them, the nigga that do her hair, that wears dresses to court. So this is a conversation that's expansive that we have to have. um I just can't answer it. We need to do a panel and have this discussion with these modern women, just so we can see where y'all trying to take this. What's your idea? What you getting into? I'm willing to hear it. Talk to me. Talk back to me. I can't answer for them though. You feel me?
Mhm.
But yeah, Aquarius is humanity. So it's also dealing with an aspect of embracing humanity. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I have my own theories. I have my own theories, bro. I see where this thing is heading in the I see how this thing is being conditioned. If we're not willing to rise to the occasion and really get in front of this conversation, I see where this is heading. And it's heading
Mm,
to
we-
transhumanism by way of transgenderism. So y'all play with it if you want. And you think that these cases and these incidents don't have reverberations. Niggas are still talking about Rihanna to this day, right? These are those cases that reverberate and, kind of like draw the line in the sand. And yeah, play with it if you want.
all right, let's get to the next. We're gonna
That
take
shit has been
about
seeded in the consciousness of the planet.
indeed. We're gonna take two more, then we're gonna get out of here, family. The next question, Blue, from the family is: do you necessarily have to speak
Oh,
out
wait,
loud?
hold on. Give me
Yeah.
let me just give you an example. I watched today, they had a press release put out by the DA, the head DA of Los Angeles, speaking about male and female relationships based on the Tory Lanez verdict, right? How dare he open his mouth? He ain't say nothing about Harvey Weinstein. The community ain't say nothing about the fact that Weinstein got convicted, you know what I'm saying, for the second time in LA. They just brushing past all of these things. And while they was applauding the fact that this man might get sent to jail for 22 years, do you know that Sam Bankman-Friedman with a signature got released from the feds for $250 million? He ain't put no bread up. He put a signature up.
Mm, mm.
So we again focusing on the wrong things as it applies to we're letting the legal system settle our affairs as melanated men and women, because we still ain't get to the truth of the matter. But all of a sudden it's like, oh, you owe this woman an apology because the legal system says so. The same legal system that you just told me was releasing all of the killers of our children, right? When are we going to speak about it as a forum, as a people? Since you don't want to snitch, tell the people, tell the ones who should, who need to know, who care most, who have the most vested in it, because we still don't got no answers. But now we're gonna have a war of roses because two people, want to live in their convenient truths and lies. Like we don't know what's going on, but we're gonna have to pay the price. So that's not how family should deal with family affairs at the end of the day. And stop putting our business in the hands of the same people who you say miscarry justice every other time. You feel me? Y'all owe Takashi Nada an apology, matter of fact.
Man, let's get to
You
this
see
next
that stuff
question,
going
Blue.
on with Young Thug and them?
And Gunna, yeah, Gunna. I guess what they would call that, dry snitching or something. What would they call that?
Snitching.
Straight up. Blue, let's get to this next question. Do you necessarily have to speak out loud, or thoughts are just the same when chanting? Good question. Suke Forever Love.
That's an amazing question. I would say this, right? Um, I would say that speaking out loud while chanting has a powerful effect because you are reverberating the water in your body.
Mhm.
And, sometimes you need to hear something for it to be programmed, especially for it to resonate. You could start out chanting and then carry that memory of the chant in your mind and reverberate it through your body afterward. But you should speak out to program yourself. Yourself has to hear yourself. Look, and again, this information is not general, it's specific because me, I'm a projector in my human design. In order for something to be true, I have to hear myself saying it, right? So that's specific. My advice would be specific to projectors such as myself. You got to find out what works best for you, on a for real, for real. But I don't know. I don't want to say that I'm biased, but I'm giving you the information that I know works specifically for me. I have to hear myself saying it.
Blue, I want the last question is not a question, but it's a statement somebody made. But I want to hear I want you to comment on it. This is something similar to Rod Hayes has said in the past, and we say these generalized statements like the black man and the black woman, or the black king and the black queen, or the melanated people on the planet Earth. And let me just read this comment. There is no we with
Mhm.
everyone. Not everybody's a part of the same tribe. Watch the new Avatar. Everyone in black skin ain't soulful or have kindred spirits. We usually, we hear terms like, we want a black nation and we want black this or black that. And sometimes there may be people who don't look black who have a more spirit, kindred spirit, loved spirit than somebody who is your complexion. So in a channel like this, where a lot of people would
Yeah,
consider it pro-black, what would be your response to that comment?
I mean, he hit it on the head, and I am preparing an avatar to code it, and that's the premise of where I'm taking it. I'm not gonna get into all of the details, but yeah, he hit it on the head. You know what I'm saying? All skin folk is definitely not kinfolk. And it's where, you know, after watching some of the events that have been taking place, I created a new phrase. Our people perish from a lack of discernment. You feel me?
Mm,
And your inability to discern or be in connection with your sentient self, right? People are falling for traps. I'm being duped by people that I knew for 20 years.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when do you really know a person? And they say everything is subject to change. So if you're not checking up on a person, do you really know them? Right? People like moving targets. Nothing is gonna stand still the same and be the same forever. So you gotta even check up on the people who you did the checkup on, you know? But
mm,
you have to establish what your discernment is and what that feeling is, and your relationship with self, that voice in your head that's like, nah, I ain't feeling that. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
You have to be, because we dealing with the invasion of the body snatchers right now, and everybody's definitely not who they appear to be.
mm. Indeed.
But that's on God.
Blue man, this is such a magnificent conversation, my brother. We had today a much needed conversation, a metaphysical conversation, a psychological conversation. I mean, you hit on so many different aspects of the human psyche and just the cosmic nature of this universe. So, Blue, to close out, my brother, I want you to lead the people with your contact information and any last words you want to tell the family before we get up out of here.
Yeah, at Blue Pillar 44 on Instagram. There's only one page. I got a lot of clones, but it's only one, and that's
Mm,
at Blue Pillar 44, PILLAR. Um, that's the same for my Cash App, Blue Pillar 44. If you want to show some love, you know what I'm saying. They said baby and daddy need some new shoes. You feel me? And I'm working on a news network. You feel me? And I'll be unveiling the details to that. That's why I've been doing all of this editing, and I taught myself all of these techniques to get back to the format that I love, which is journalism, you know, reporting news. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be a lot of that in 2023. Me and Rich got some projects coming up. Key Belong got some projects coming up. It's a lot. It's a lot on the forecast. That's just amazing. You know, all in the spirit of higher consciousness.
Indeed, and with that being said, family, make sure you grab your tickets to Blueprint for God Power. The link should be in the description. Blue, you're gonna be in the building January 7th, right?
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to the legends. You know what I'm saying? People keep telling me about this new year that takes place on January 7th. They like, you got any information on it? I was like, I don't, but I'm gonna be tuned in to hear, you know, what the master teachers got to say. You know, shout out to them legends who are raising the bar on higher consciousness on this planet. Shout out to everybody who is committed to the cause, 10 toes down, stay resilient, you know what I'm saying? Keep your chest out and your chin up. You know, this has been an amazing year. Shout out to Brother Rich for unprecedented programming. I seen the view count, you know what I'm saying? But the view count does not account to the impact on a cellular, biological level. You know, people have, you know what I'm saying, they've shifted their paradigms and changed their outlooks and become better versions of themselves. So continue the good work, man. Continue the good work. You know what I'm saying? And yeah,
Indeed.
yo, and to the family, yeah, work on fostering better relationships. Peace.
Indeed. All right, peace, family. We see you next time. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow, family. Peace.